Goodwin, and coming to you live tonight. This is Friday, April the 5th, and we are still here, 2024. Can you believe it? And wow, we are in the final hours of the church age. I mean, this thing could end at any moment. I've always felt the rapture will be a fall. Let me get this on. Probably nobody can hear me on YouTube here. Here we go. Sorry about that. And we're in the final ticking moments of this thing. I mean, you can feel it in the air. I apologize for yesterday. We didn't get on yesterday because we were traveling. We have been to the studio, my wife and I, and I can't seem to get Facebook to brighten up a little bit. Let me try this. See if that does anything. Didn't seem like it did. I don't know. Let me try to move this out. Anyway, I don't think that did any good. All right. It is 7:47 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I don't know how far away we are from the afternoon of Monday, April 8th, but it's drawing close, isn't it? It is less than 36 hours now, isn't it? Well, less than 72 hours, I should say. And tonight we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, is April 8th a sign of, is it a warning from God? Now, some of you just think that God doesn't ever talk to anybody but Jews. And let me tell you something, you're wrong about that. And for the most part, the Jews have been on the shelf for 2,000 years. And God has this thing called the New Testament church today, right? Made up of Jew and Gentile. And I'm telling you, God speaks to us. We've got the Word of God. And I believe God may be saying some things today. And maybe we ain't listening. Brother Ron Auger is with us tonight from Connecticut. Hey, Brother Ron, did you feel the shock waves from the 4.8? You were not that far away, Brother Ron. Did you feel the earthquake today? Let us know if you did. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Alabama is here. Joy Barnes. Marvin from Van Buren, Arkansas. Cynthia's here. Ron did not feel the tremors. And okay, maybe too far away, but I know you think 4.8 isn't very big, but let me tell you something. 4.8 is a big earthquake, and nothing to play around with. Let me get my coffee here. All right, folks are getting on. We don't have a big crowd yet. It's Friday night. I don't know if Friday is a good night at all, but I missed last night because we were traveling back from the studio and did not get back in time. Hey, the heat works in the RV. It's cold up here. I'm telling you, it's going to get down to 32, I think, in the morning. All right, and I tried the heater for the first time in the RV, and it kicked on. And evidently, there's propane in the tank down there. So, yeah, it just shut off a second ago. So the refrigerator works, the heat works, the air, I don't know yet. I got to find out. I'm only hooked up to 15 amps, so I'm not sure I can kick that air conditioner on or not. Just want to see if it works. All right, let me give you a quick update before we begin. And let me give you a quick update on Dr. Gary Dice. Some of you have been following his situation in need of a heart. And he's been 25 days, I think, almost a month, hooked up to a machine in an ICU room in Chicago, waiting on a heart to come available. He got to the place where he could no longer survive. So they admitted him to the hospital, had some strokes, you remember that? And they got him in the hospital and they hooked a machine up to him. So the machine's been keeping him alive. By the way, I spoke to him last night for 20 minutes, I think. on the phone, probably 6 hours before he went in to major surgery. And sounded great, sounded normal, very encouraged, not worried about a thing. And I told him, I said, brother Gary, you win either way. If you die on that operating table, uh, you go to heaven. I mean, so if they get you working, get the heart, and you feel good, and you have your life back, that's great. If it doesn't work and you die, you wake up in heaven. Now, what can be bad about that? And of course, we're praying that God keeps him alive. I'm praying that God still has a work for him to do. And we have assisted him, especially my wife, greatly. And we've pumped out 4 books, helped him get 4 books out there. Good stuff, too. Good stuff. And we did an interview with him for television. And we're, Lord willing, if he pulls through, we're going to do some more with him. All right. So the last word is, and by the way, I stayed up till about after 3 in the morning this morning because I wanted to pray because he told me they were coming to get him at 2:30 in the morning. We're going to put him out, head to the ER or the operating room. And he said, as soon as the heart got there, the heart was being transported. As soon as it got there, he said they thought it would be around 3 in the morning. The doctor told him, I will have the scalpel in my hand. Will be when the door opens to the OR and they wheel the heart in, he immediately begins cutting Dr. Gary's chest open to begin the surgery. That important, the very timely, to get this thing done. So we heard earlier today, we've heard about 2 reports so far. They said it was a success. The last I heard, the machine was still pumping his blood because it takes time for the heart to take over, the new heart. And that's the last I've heard. I don't know what's going on. But as of right now, it looks like it's a success until we hear differently. Now, anything can happen. So keep praying for Dr. Gary and his wife Pam and family members and the doctors and the hospital and all that's going on there. Keep them in your prayers. All right, real quickly here, let me just see what else we got over here. Russell is here. I believe he's in Texas. Glad the heart works for you. Let's see. Oh, glad the heat works for you. I know I'm here in Western North Carolina. It's been cold the last few days. Russell, I thought you were in Texas. I'm confused. Or maybe you travel for work. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, Western North Carolina. I guess it's getting cold there too. So, all right. So let me just briefly give you this, and I'll let you all go on this Friday evening. You probably all got stuff to do, and by the way, I will post anything I get on the Facebook page as soon as I get it on Brother Gary. So I wrote down a list of things, and I don't have everything here. There's more going on, but I wrote these things down to share with you about April 8th. Of course, most of you know about the eclipse taking place on you have to know, right? I mean, the whole world knows. April 8th, sometime in the afternoon, up our way anyway, in Illinois, where the X meets there. The eclipse, the total solar eclipse, second one in 7 years. August 2017, we had one, and it made quite a big deal. A lot of people talked about it. We knew about this one. We talked about this way back then. The fact that there were 2 of them. We knew about the X in Carbondale way back 7 years ago. In fact, longer than that. We knew about it. We knew it was coming, and it's here, and it's less than 72 hours away. But look at so we got the total eclipse on April 8th. 7 years from the one 7 years ago. But listen to this, and I have not checked this. Maybe one of you all out there can double check the math here. I have not done this. I heard this. I heard that it's 7 years, but really it's actually 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. Anyone else heard that? I have not done the math. Miss Alana, if you happen to be listening anywhere, you're good at this stuff. see if you, what was it, August 17th or something? What was the date of the eclipse 7 years ago? Was it, it may have been August, it was August something, 2017. I don't remember the date. I think 17 comes to mind, but that may not be right. Somebody get on that time and date and figure the days to April 8th, 2024. See what you come up with. So Van is saying that's wrong. I'm not sure. Van, are you saying that 6 years, 6 months, 6 days is not right? It may not be. So somebody check that out. All right. What's interesting about now he just retracted that, so I'm not sure what's going. So if somebody wants to check that out, that would be interesting to know. You say, well, it's just a coincidence. Well, it's about 1,000 coincidences. And how long do we just call everything coincidence? I mean, come on. I think if the Lord showed up, okay, August. He's saying August to April is 8 months. So August. I don't know, 8 or 9 months. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, somebody do the math. See what you can come up with. All right, Melissa says, as of right now, it's been 6 years, 7 months, and 14 days. So it'll be 6 years, 7 months, and so somebody may have been wrong. I don't know. So we'll see. So maybe that statistic I read was not right. Like I said, I didn't check it for myself, and but anyway. The furnace just came on again. I'm in the RV, by the way, that was given to us. And we have not built the studio. I'm waiting on my daughter. She's going to come and clean this thing head to toe. And we're going to probably move this table out of here. And I'm going to try to sit in the middle where there's not a corner showing here eventually. And I may put a different backdrop here. And we'll put a camera over there. I'm actually going to bring not my phone, but a camera. I think, anyway, we're going to try that. And praise the Lord. But the heat just came back on, so it's working the way it's supposed to be. So that's good. I won't leave it on. When I get out of here, I'll shut that off. And all right, so what's going on April 8th? And before and after April 8th, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And we got the eclipse coming, what they're calling the Great American Eclipse. And it's the second one in 7 years. And the X is in Carbondale, Illinois. And we've already shared this with you if you've watched our shows, that it's called Little Egypt down there because of the famine that they had in mid Illinois, in the middle of the state there. I think 1840, somewhere in there, they had a big drought. And many of the people moved south towards the rivers, Ohio and the Mississippi. A lot of people moved south to restart their lives and plant their gardens, and it got the nickname Little Egypt. And you'll see signs. Our studio's down there. I've literally seen signs for Little Egypt. You got Cairo, Illinois. You got other places with Egyptian names, and that came about because of the story of Joseph and how they exited Egypt. And got to went to Canaan land. And so they're likening this like the story of Joseph. And there's a lot of prophetic lessons there. You remember Joseph told them there were going to be 7 years of plenty. Looks like we had that under Trump. And then now we begin the 7 years of famine. And it looks like we're there. Whether that's prophetic of this or not, it's happening. Whether the eclipse has anything to do with it or not, you'll have to decide that. So what else is going on? A whole bunch of things. I can't even give you all of them. What else is going on? Well, war is going on in Israel. We know that, and there's things happening with Iran over there right now. Amar Safati, or however you say his name, he's been telling us some things going on. And there were some bombings at the embassy over there in Damascus. Israel did that, and there's going to be, they're talking about retaliation, and then yesterday our wonderful president, who doesn't even know what day this is, doesn't even know who he is half the time, makes a call to Netanyahu and tells him, you better fix this, you better quit, you better figure this out, or we're going to quit supporting you, blah blah blah. And you want God to destroy this nation, you just let these idiots continue to trash Israel. God said, I'll bless them that bless thee, and I'll curse them that curse thee. And my goodness. And you say, well, that's Mr. Biden. That's got nothing to do with us. Let me tell you something. Your leader has a lot to do with you, because your leader is there because of us to some degree. You say, but the election was stolen. Okay, but we still got some accountability here. We allowed it to happen. We didn't rise up. We didn't demand investigations. So we got a part to play in this. And don't ever think you don't. Christians have been asleep at the wheel. So what else? What's going on during this time? Well, we find that America is going to shoot 3 rockets up into the sky inside that zone of the eclipse where it's total darkness. Anybody got any idea what that's about? I don't know. I haven't found anybody that even understand, or to do what? What are they doing? What are they trying to see or learn? What's that all about? I'm concerned about that. And you should be too. Do you trust your government? I don't trust. I trust Mr. Putin in Russia more than I trust our guy. And I hate to say that. And I'm not a Putin fan. I'm against communism. But listen to me. Isn't it sad when you feel like you can trust what Mr. Putin says more than you can trust what our government, and definitely our media is lying to us every day. Larry V. Mann says 4.8 is nothing. We had a 7.1. 4.8 is not nothing. It's not nothing. It's an earthquake. And the point is, and I wrote this down, this is at the bottom of my list, so I'll go ahead and give it now. The earthquake that hit New Jersey, the epicenter was a place called White House Station. You can Google this for yourself and find out. White House, a place called White House Station. Another coincidence. You think God is trying to get the attention of somebody in America, and maybe the leader of America? Maybe trying to use an earthquake to shake him out of his bed and wake him up? Maybe knock him out of his bed, hit his head and wake him up, come back to his senses? White House Station. What in the world's that about? That's the epicenter of the earthquake. Okay? And this earthquake they just had is the biggest earthquake in that area since 1783, the time of the revolution, the end of the revolution. So you can say it's nothing compared to, sure, 7.1 is much bigger. We understand that. But a 4.8 is still a good sized earthquake. And nothing to make fun of, okay? Shooting 3 rockets in the sky. Now, here's something else going on that you may not know about. How many of you have heard of this thing called CERN? CERN. CERN. We've done some stuff on this. Been a while now. And by the way, it's been shut down for some time, a couple of years, I think. They're restarting CERN. Guess what day they're restarting it? April 8th, during the eclipse. I mean, another coincidence, right? By the way, CERN is a giant collider. I'm trying to think of the whole name. It's some kind of semiconductor, a big collider that they're smashing atoms. And to keep it simple, without reading something and telling you what it is, They're trying to learn why the molecule doesn't fly apart, because the way the molecule, the the proton and the neutron, they're saying scientifically it should fly apart and it doesn't, and they've never been able to figure that. There you go, Large Hadron Collider. So they're smashing atoms, and like Van said, it's built on an old temple. It's believed that it could be on top of the mouth of the bottomless pit where Satan is, where the angels are going to be loosed in the middle of tribulation. Now we can't prove that. I've heard people say it. It may be true. I don't know. But it's over there in Switzerland, right on the border, I believe. There's over 17 miles of. By the way, I think it's 300 feet underground, and they've got coils and tunnels and I can't even explain it all. You'd have to just Google it and look at pictures of this crate. I put pictures up on a television show I did, and showed you pictures of this thing. Remember the guy in the wheelchair? What was his name? He died. He's an atheist. The very brilliant guy, and he's in a wheelchair. He's real skinny, real funny looking. He even said that we're messing with something we shouldn't be messing with. He was afraid that we would open a portal or a door to another dimension. And Stephen Hawking, thank you. And so a lot of people are concerned about this. So that's going to be fired up, and they're going to be experimenting again with that thing over there in Switzerland, April 8th. What else? The eclipse, April 8th, the CERN. There's also the devil comet. And I think, did I read that it's 77, every 77 years, the comet hits her and comes around Earth's atmosphere. And guess what? It's here. And it will be in the sky during the eclipse, I believe. And they call it the devil comet. It has another name, another scientific name, but they nicknamed it the devil comet because it looks like it has these horns. No, they're not really. It's a comet. But it looks like a devil face or something, and they nicknamed it that. Just coincidence that happens to be there. By the way, if that's not enough, there are several interesting planetary alignments that are going to happen before and after the eclipse and during the eclipse. And planetary alignments. And Doc Googled one of them. He said it won't happen again for 32 million years, this exact scenario. 32 million years. Okay. What else we got going on? Well, we got schools being closed in many places around the country. People are closing school on Monday. Is that because they're concerned about the kids looking at the sun during playground? I don't know. Is it because everybody wants to go see it and so they're closing school? I don't know. Or is there some danger going on? Is there something else going on? Joe Biden is 32 million years old, they're saying. And so schools closing. I've heard this from several places. The National Guard is being called out in several areas, and they're not telling us why, but they're concerned about something. Are they concerned that riots may break out? Are they concerned that looting may happen? I don't know. Or is there some other thing that they're being cautious about because maybe there's something else that could be going to happen? I don't know. And of course, the earthquake that just happened. And there's tons more stuff we could talk about. People talk about the towns called Nineveh in the line. Oh, I know. There's another one. I didn't write this down. Did you know if you look at a map of the New Madrid fault line, where they claim we could have a catastrophic happening disaster in our country? It could literally split the country in half. And they're saying that fault line is right along the path of the eclipse when you look at that map. Interesting, huh? Be a good day for something to happen there, huh? It's about time. They've been expecting that for a long time. It hadn't happened yet. Okay. So, by the way, one of the world's top 3 or 4 biggest earthquakes in history, I believe, happened on that fault line somewhere. I believe I read that. I could be wrong, but I believe I read that. And I've heard 2 different scenarios. I've heard of one site said that an 8.4 or an 8.8 was the biggest earthquake in history of the world. And then I read another one that said 9.5 in Chile many years ago. I don't know. I don't know which one's right, and I didn't take the time to study it out. But anyway, let's see. I'm seeing what people. Oh, don't forget the red heifers. The red heifers. We don't know when they're going to be sacrificed. By the way, we're doing a show on the red heifers. In fact, we just recorded it. Part of it. We recorded Doc and mine's part, but we're going to be doing a 20-minute interview with Michael Samuel Smith, and we'll have his brand new DVDs available for purchase on our website. We're going to give him a 20-minute slot and let him share what he knows. He's one of the leading guys out there that understands some of this stuff, and a lot of it's not biblical, by the way. A lot of it is tradition. Jewish tradition, and but we'll share some of that stuff with you in I guess 2 weeks from tonight. That show will air. So all these things and many more things. You got 7 years ago, all the Salem cities were going one way. By the way, 7 years ago, the Great Eclipse in 2017 exited the United States from South Carolina at Fort Sumter. That's where the Civil War began. Interesting, huh? I mentioned the planetary alignment. There's 2 or 3 different scenarios that are going to take place in a several day period there, but there'll actually be at least a 4 planet alignment, if not an 8. I'm not sure. Can't remember. That you'll be able to possibly see once the sun is blocked, and and that's on the actual eclipse time. So all this stuff happening. Is there something with all this? The earthquake hitting in White House Station, God shaking things, the eclipses. Do they mean something? Well, Genesis chapter 1, verses 14 to 16 in there talks about the sun, the moon, and the stars, and being there for 4 reasons: for signs, that's number 1; for seasons, and for days and for months, to set time periods. And the very first thing he said that they were for was signs. Isn't that interesting? We're so quick to blow that off, though, aren't we? There's still people that don't think the blood moons meant anything. The problem is you didn't study it out like I did. You don't understand what some of that stuff really meant. Had nothing to do with America. The moon, those, that was about Israel. So, I think as somebody just commented on here, I think it's time we get right with God. You say, well, maybe this doesn't mean nothing. Okay, well, it can't hurt to get right with God, as if you think God is speaking to us, and you think God doesn't see us. You think God doesn't have an interest in what's going on here in our country. So Russell says in 40 days after Pentecost, on the day 6/6/2024, there is an alignment of 4 planets: the sun, the comet. Okay. Cynthia said we should ask Dr. Ralph Sexton from. I brought him on Prophecy News when I hosted Prophecy News. We had Dr. Sexton do a couple shows. Had a good time with him, and I don't know what kind of communication he has with Netanyahu right now. So anyway, if love to talk to him. I ought to I ought to try to get a hold of him and pick his brain a little bit. But anyway, so that's what's going on. We will either bow the knee willingly or by force. One comment here. I'm concerned about Iran and the Persian Gulf. Mr. Coming the last day, scoffers walking after their own lust. All righty. Well, anyway, that's what's going on. It's cold here in Kentucky where I'm at. I'm telling you, the last few days, and it's going to be. We think it's going to hit freezing in the morning, and this is April, and Melissa says I think Dan should go to Trinity now. Brother Sexton is not the pastor there anymore. He's basically traveling as an evangelist. Um, I've never been invited to speak there, and the truth is, my calendar is pretty open. I don't understand. I think I mean, I don't know what's going on. I've got a lot of knowledge. I say that humbly. I got a lot of pieces of the puzzle, and a lot of people know me. A lot of people trust me. But very few churches are calling me, asking me to come, and that's fine. I got plenty to do. My new book I'm working on now going to be my most important book. Lord willing, it's going to come out by the end of April here, and it's going to be, I think, my crown jewel. I think it's going to be the best book that I've ever done. I think it's going to be very helpful to people, and we'll have that. We'll have more on that as we go. I'll give you ways to pre-order that when the time comes, and get ahead of the game and get your copy first. But anyway, if you are a pastor, or if you have a good rapport with your pastor and would like to have me come to your church, have your pastor contact me, or you contact me if you're the pastor. Love to come and preach a Sunday or a Sunday through Wednesday, whatever you want, and love to do it. And we would love to do a few conferences this year with Doc and I together, but we'll do whatever a pastor wants. And okay, so some of you probably knew a lot of these things I shared tonight. Some of you maybe didn't. There's more. I mean, but wait, there's more. All right. By the way, we got a lot of phone calls tonight from the TV show that aired. We were on CTN tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, like we always are. And that phone rang several times. I don't know how many calls the girls got tonight. Several people donated. They want to keep us on the air. We appreciate that very much. And we have reached, I think we have reached where we need to be to pay the quarterly bill for CTN, but we still have VTN, and we have taken on another one. I think it's bbsradio.com or something like that. It's an internet thing. We're going to try that for 2 months, and if it does something, we'll keep them. So, but anyway, we'll keep praying for us. I'll keep you updated on Brother Gary and his new heart, and we'll keep you posted on that. And I guess that's it. And so until next time, folks, keep your eyes on them skies.